I'm off to a inclusion and equity event today, so it's a little bit in front of my mind. And then I guess there's been a lot of noise around body positivity. I can't even speak today. Clearly, I need another meal. I always seem to do these lives just before I eat, which is probably not the best thing, right? Anyway, point being, on front and centre of my mind at the moment is this whole inclusion and gender equity piece, right? I've got a workshop on it today. And then there's been a lot of, I don't know if it's just my feed or if everyone else has seen it, but there's been a lot of more sort of body positive, the body positive movement, right? And there's been some pretty strong opinions around the validity of that movement, whether it's worthwhile and all those sorts of things. And I guess I thought I might just weigh in the conversation. So the first thing is, I've seen a lot of white male PTs have an opinion around body positive messaging, and the key points that they seem to have is why are we normalising people who are overweight to make them feel good instead of actually getting them to do some weight management. Valid point. However, let's just have a look at a few things, right? We normalise in our culture excessive drinking and hangovers. It's in a lot of the movies, everything we watch, in our normal culture. We normalise smoking to a degree. We normalise working ridiculous hours and being stressed in a hustle culture. We normalise not having work-life balance. We normalise the majority of unpaid work going on to females. And we normalise the fact, which is probably my biggest point here as well, that women should be judged first and foremost on how they look, but also how they feel about how they look, instead of maybe the contributions that they actually make. Maybe we need to be having a different conversation, and maybe we need to be stop thinking about health and fitness in terms of it being limited to only weight management. What about actually getting in for exercise to feel good about our bodies, to actually have more energy, to feel stronger, and all those sorts of things? Why not eat well for cognitive performance and clarity, for having enough energy to do things? I mean, at the end of the day, so I get that point. And from an inclusion point of view, I kind of get the idea of, including more diverse body types. But on saying that, I don't see too many of these beauty ads showcasing really strong, fit, muscly women, because apparently that's still too alien for most people, right? So, I think on one hand as well, you've then got, a lot of these companies claiming body positivity, but it's still a very narrow field on what that actually includes. Probably not. So there's a couple of points around my thoughts on body positivity. I think the other thing is as well, I think it is important for inclusion, and we need to expand it more from beauty products to actually getting people of all shapes and sizes, exercising and doing all sorts of forms of exercising. I think there's an unconscious bias there that people who are a little bit bigger are not strong, or aren't capable of strong, or lazy and don't exercise. I think that's a misconception, and most often or not, it's usually to do with caloric intake. I think we need to stop normalising people being judged on how they look instead of what they can do, and start focusing on other things to do with just general health and well-being. The other thing around body positivity, which is a bit of a concern, is that some of the messaging is a little bit toxic as well. It's like there's almost this pressure to accept who you are, because otherwise you'll never be happy. And research is actually showing that has just as much of a mental and And so again, I think it comes down to us being conscious around what are we doing to make people feel heard, seen, and making them feel accepted for who they are, and coming from that place instead of and getting people to be comfortable expressing or finding out what's working for them and what's not. Anyway, so that's just my random thoughts. What are your thoughts on the body positivity movement? Comment below. Interested to hear.